Welcome everyone. Today we are going to do the summary and about the lesson Silk Road from the book Hornbill for class 11. Now about the lesson. Silk Road is a detailed account of the author's visit to Mount Kailash. He visited the place to do Kora with other pilgrims. He had to encounter several obstacles on the way to reach Hor. The writer uses picturesque phrases to describe the scenic beauty of the mountains. The whole description is quite interesting as it reveals many unknown facts about a journey up the most difficult terrain in the world. Now we come to the summary. I've just given the headlines here, but each point will be discussed. The first is the journey began. The author, his friend Daniel, and the driver Tisan made a program of going to Mount Kailash. When he told about this to Lahamo, she went hurriedly into the tent and brought long-sleeved sheepskin coats that they must wear. They took a shortcut to get off Chengtan. Sitan, who knew the route, offered to take them southwest, almost directly towards Mount Kailash. Driving across rising and falling hills, they reached a place where plains became more stony. Here they came across a herd of wild asses. Now we talk about the steep drive. As hills began to push up from the rocky wilderness, they came across well-clad Dorkbas tending their sheep. Whenever the truck took them close to the flocks, the sheep would take aversive action. As they passed nomads' dark tents, their big black dogs chased the car barking furiously. They continued their journey, the turns became sharper and the ride bumpier. The track moved from the icy river. The author felt the pressure building up in his ear. Now we come to the next point, that is the first blockage. A swath of snow lay across the track in front of them. There was fear of slipping, but Satan crossed the path safely after covering the snow with soil. 10 minutes later, they had to stop at another blockage. It was again a long stretch of ice. This time, Suzanne decided to ride around the snow. The slope was steep, but Suzanne showed his driving skill once again and crossed it safely. Now reaching the top of the pass. Reaching the top was very difficult. The ascent gave the author throbbing headache and he gulped water. Finally, they reached the top of the pass at 5,515 feet. Here they saw huge rocks adorned with white silk scarves and prayer flags. At a petrol tank, Sitan partially unscrewed the top and emitted a loud hiss. He also checked tires and petrol tank. Now they reached Hor. By late afternoon, they reached the small town of Hor. They took lunch near the dry salt. Here Daniel, who was returning to Lhasa, found a ride in a truck. The author and Suzanne bade him farewell. They had suffered 2 punctures and Sitan was eager to have them fixed since they had no spare wheel now. To them, Hor appeared to be a grim, miserable place with no vegetation, with just dust and rocks. Now they stay at Dachin. By the time they left Hor, it was 10:30 p.m. The author and Suzanne reached a bungalow in Dachin. Tired and hungry, the author started breathing through his mouth. His chest felt heavy. Then Suzanne took him to the Tibetan doctor. With the medicine that he gave, the author felt better. Suzanne then left for Lhasa. Experience at Dachin. After a good night's sleep, Dachin didn't look so horrible. It was still dusty. No one spoke or understood English, so it was difficult for the author to communicate with them. Here he met Norbu, a Tibetan who worked in Beijing at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. Norbu could speak English. He told the author that he had also come for Kailash Kora. Both the author and Norbu hired some yaks to go to the pilgrimage together. The author felt relieved and happy in Norval's company. So this was the summary of the chapter. Now we justify the title. Why is it called Silk Road? Silk Road describes in detail the author's journey from Ravu to Mount Kailash. It is related to the main east-west highway following the trade route from Lhasa to Kashmir. In the past, this route was used to bring silk from Kashmir. That is why the road was named Silk. The article contains an account of how the author and his driver covered this route. They started from Ravu, covering the dusty plains, and they reached Dachin at about 10 p.m. The author hoped to meet some devout pilgrims with whom he could do the Korah. Therefore, the title is literally and symbolically very appropriate. Thank you very much.